so you will understand what I'm talking about. So what happened is this weekend I watched 3 videos, and I'm going to share same thing. They're saying in future it's going to be psychological war, kind of like what you're expressing, right?
Yes.
Because they are saying the terrorism is getting to a point where they're step by step teaching people how to attack each other. And they are getting to be a better leaders than the politician who doesn't take responsibility. They're screwing us up. And then the same way the business people, right? Like they're so focused on making money, doing right thing and stuff. They're not giving direction, so people are failing, right? So essentially, it ends up being a war of mind.
Right.
So if your point of view is correct and you are forceful enough to convert 2-3 people to your way of thinking, you win.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Right.
Like kind of like how his family
Yes.
took that stance.
Yes.
Somehow,
Right.
like it's like they said, it's age-old tradition.
Okay.
Like how, like women abuse each other, right? Like
Yes.
you will get married, you'll go to a new family, and somehow like a mother-in-law picks a fight.
Right. Right.
So then you can poison the whole family against you,
Right.
right? Like,
Yes.
So it's a master manipulator. It all starts with a gossip. Yeah. Somebody chooses to gossip.
Just like that.
And that's it.
The
right?
sister started it, now the whole family.
And
like,
the thing is, it doesn't need to be factually correct. See, when you gossip, you're not a journalist, you're not accountable. Right. It's your opinion.
Right.
And somebody gets on that wagon. And originally, when it starts as a gossip, then it ends up being combined with unresolved issue.
Yes.
And then it gets blown up.
Right.
So now, like, actually, we have even played those games. You will send a secret to somebody else.
Yes.
And then finally, when it comes, it is totally opposite
it's
of
like
what
800 other things added in. And yes.
You play that game.
Yes.
So that's the thing we need to pay attention to. Actually, it's very nice video. I hope you watch it. I'll share that with you.
Okay.
And so he says understanding what the problem is important. First of all, it's psychological warfare. It doesn't need to be correct.
Right.
The second thing is who's running it. Some gossipy person, who was like a low. They called it nose in. Like your nose is in.
Yes.
But I forgot whether it's logic out, like nose in, words out, or some, like kind of like you're peeking in.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like even if somebody is committing a incorrect act against somebody else, nobody's taking accountability.
Okay.
Like it's become so insensitive. Let's say, right, like I was watching a Dateline or something where this guy gets lured to go to a garage.
Okay.
And he's I wonder whether he was like online trying to pick up people.
Right.
And he's getting murdered, okay?
Yes.
So he has no clothes on and he comes running out and he's telling people, I'm being attacked, I'm being murdered.
Yes.
And the man who's walking a dog is willing to step towards him. His girlfriend pulls him away and they don't even call for help. Yeah, you should watch it. And so he has shackles on, so.
Oh my God.
So then that guy, comes and says, come on, hey, let's go play the game again. And they blatantly walk away. And so he almost gets dragged back and he keeps running.
Right.
And somebody else comes in and that guy lets him go.
Right.
But a week later, another guy gets killed at the same spot.
Oh my God.
And then this boyfriend feels guilty.
Okay.
And he goes and tells what happened. And when they interview, they track this guy who escaped.
Yeah.
And he still says, that man tried to help me, that girl wouldn't allow.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you could see, how insensitive we have become.
Right.
That is one incident.
Right.
The other incident is, there was a girl being raped. And she comes, without clothes on. And tries to find help. They close the door and they go away. Because they pretend it's a boyfriend-girlfriend fight. So we are getting to a place we are not even curious what is wrong
They
with
don't
the
even
other
want to get
person.
involved. They don't even want
No,
to.
but they don't even want to correct the situation.
Right.
See, even if it is boyfriend, right?
Right.
You cannot let this girl be running around like this, right?
Exactly.
So we have become so insensitive to problem. Same thing happened, like here in the bathroom, somebody overdosed in Dunkin' Donuts. They didn't even want to call for help.
Yeah.
Because they are afraid to be punished.
People, me and Christine actually, there was 2 guys overdosing at 7-Eleven on Bridge Street, right up Bridge Street, 7-Eleven. 2 guys overdosing. Like the guy was standing right in front of me in line. One of the guys. The other guy his friend was sitting in his car, and so the guy comes out, and then I came out, and they were parked like kind of in front of us, and so he goes to open his, driver door, and he just buckled, like he fell, like right on, his knees bent and everything, just fell to the ground. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, Christine, he's overdosing. Like we jumped out of the car. The other guy was like, we thought he was sleeping. No, he was overdosing too in the car. Yeah, his friend. So Christine starts jumping on him, like, screaming, like I'm like trying to call 911. 911 didn't even answer the phone.
Wow.
You know that? I called them twice. And they were taking so long to answer, like they didn't even answer. I just hung up. I kept hanging up. She's screaming at me. She's trying to get the guy, to like stay awake, you know what I mean, alive or whatever.
Did anybody come for help?
Yeah. So then I called the police station, and they took forever to answer the phone. I was like, what's going on in this world? Like, seriously, what's going on? So the detective finally comes, right, and he's pulling in the parking lot of 7-Eleven, like it's Sunday morning, like la la la, slowly pulling in, he's slowly getting out of his car, like, hello, this guy's dying, like he's dying on the floor, like, do you have Narcan? And he's like, no. Okay, well, what did you do something? Like, you don't care. Nobody cares, No one cares.
Because only the value of human is going here.
That like the people that was around, like that was going to the store, cared.
No, even them, they are not caring. Even them. See, the problem is, right, we are getting insensitive to human value. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So, whereas the terrorism is able to create leadership.
Yeah.
Because they are teaching step by step, what do you do when you do this? Right. And people now would rather have effective plan. Right. And so they are following some stupid leadership which has no agenda.
Right.
To, like, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That is the scariest part. So that is the number one thing. The second thing is, one addict was saying, actually addict and professional CEOs have the same attitude.
Yeah.
They're very, very focused in what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they educate themselves very well how to get that.
Right.
And then they have an order, like, meaning like they call it cadence of accountability. Okay, I need to do this to get this. I need to do this. So they have a process that works.
Right.
Okay. This is both a billionaire who teaches the same. Drug addicts who was originally addict, now he's a recovered entrepreneur. He teaches the same thing. They uses different word. The guy who is a billionaire, he teaches this way. The guy who was an addict, he says, I need to be authentic.
Right.
And I need to not focus on outcome, instead surrender to the process.
Yeah.
And I need to do the uncomfortable work. Okay? This is what he says.
Okay.
The billionaire says it another way. He says, you need to create a focused goal. And you need to have cadence of accountability. Cadence means like notes, like, you follow this to arrive at the destination.
Right.
And the third one is, have to have a proper process that works. Okay? How similar it is.
Right.
You could say it, right?
Right.
So it's so interesting. So that is the second video I watched.
Yeah.
The third video I watched was like, he says it is not at all about the goal. This is again the billionaire.
Yeah.
He says your goal could be anywhere, it doesn't matter. But if you do not have a process, if you don't have like step A and you do the step B, he says it would not work. Okay. So you need to understand the process. That might take longer. They say sometimes it takes them like 9 months.
Right.
But then once you have a process in place, you repeat.
Right.
So that's where I am at, because like I'm saying, okay, if it works. And so he gave a 5-step plan. And I'm gonna, actually his name is Sharon Srivatsa. Okay, I have been working on my own personal life, finance, and everything.
Yeah.
The first thing he said is to create, like, a good plan.
Yeah.
You need to first, like, start with the first process.
Right.
And identify, like, what is it that he says it has to be, I am the only one.
Yeah.
And fill in the blank.
Okay.
What is so special about you?
Yeah.
Like, so, and it doesn't matter whether it's a company, a person, a project. I'm the only one. Like, if I'm going to do only statement, I'll say, I'm the only doctor who is specialist both in addiction and recovery, and who can do both cannabis and Suboxone, and who is a doctor and a therapist, right? Like, there are like so many things that's unique to what I do.
Yes.
And also, I'm not just focused on Western medicine, but I'm holistic doctor as well. So wellness driven, like, recovery, which is so unique. Like, that's a specific type of leadership. And I am willing to create job skills you need to get to the next level, right? So that's the first one. Second thing he says, you need to have cash flow. Because if you do not have, it doesn't matter how much you have in the bank, but you don't have a cash flow, your business will suffer. Because you need to do so many things to take care of every day. Third is, you need to have some sort of equity that you can draw. Equity could be sweat equity. Like, equity could mean so many things. Like, for me, like, ability to, like, somehow run my whole program without waiting for the reimbursement to kick in. Or for you guys, 6 months rent paid off, or, like some sort of a. The fourth one is, he says, even when you sleep, you need to have money coming in.
Okay.
Whether it's a disability income, like, like I'm just saying, for you guys, that's the way you will think. But like I'm saying, for me, whether it's real estate, like, some sort of income that I'm going to draw, whether it's a rental income, like, that's the next level I would like you guys to focus on. So that way, somewhere you get the passive income. And the fifth one is, your social circle has to be filled with people where you want to go. Let's say you're hanging out with addicts, right? There's no way your social circle is going to change. So change your social circle. If you want to be in recovery, go to the recovery meetings, not the meeting where you people are getting high.
Around the people that you associated that with the drug. Like, when you know what I mean? Because it's going to bring back, you're going to relapse. That's all.
And do you know how much?
You can't be around people that do it. You can't be around the drugs itself. And you can't be around things that you associated with when you were doing the drug, like drinking, smoking, you know what I mean? Like, that all brings back memories of doing the drugs. So that's going to make you, you know what I mean? Go want to do it again. Think about it again, You want to keep it out of your mind and keep those people away from you, because you're never going to be able to stay, sober if you don't, ever.
So the first statement he changed, how says only statement. The reason you want to be the only one is it will allow you eventually freedom of time. Like, it'll keep it so that you're able to do anything you want with that first statement. Okay. But the thing I am understanding, like, after reading all this, he says, whenever you come across anybody, ask them what is one advice they'll give you through their experience. I want you to share. What is one thing that you learned from your life so far that you'll give us advice if you're meeting somebody?
Meeting somebody else.
Like, whatever it is, what is your life about? Like, what is it, one thing that made you who you are? Like, how did you achieve whatever you wanted? by one thing anchoring you in this world.
Probably my kids.
See, but that's not the kids is not why you changed your views and stuff. There is special something about you. You know that gives you confidence. Like I am capable of this. Like like the thing is like that's something so special about you.
I don't know.
Think about it, because the way I'm going to say it another way. So they asked him what is one thing that worked for him. He says the only thing that worked for me, if I'm going to redo my whole life, is I'll get my coaches very early on board, because he says they cut my time learning because I'm able to get to the next level very quick.
Yeah.
And doesn't allow me to be stuck in my thinking, and they give me confidence next thing what I need to do. So that's why recovery coaching, I feel, is very important, because coaches change our life, whether it's a spiritual coach, recovery coach. So I feel personally, you derived your lessons from somewhere, and somebody was able to shift your viewpoint every time when you're stuck. So you need to go back to that place. What made me who I am now? So think of them and write like a gratitude journal. Like, like that's what I feel for me personally. After listening to all these people, my teacher is there for me 100%. And whatever they are teaching, he already gave it to us.
Right.
So the reason I'm bringing it up, right? All these 5, he said, about freedom of time, cash flow, equity, passive income, and then social circle. My teacher already gave. He said, come into my social circle, and I'll make you a positive anonymous person. He says, what you need is freedom of time, because I told him I cannot meet you because I'm working with Dr. Do. He says, all the more reason, because you're going to not have the job.
Right.
So I went and I avoided my license being ruined. Cash flow, he told me exactly how to do it. Every month he says, completely empty whatever savings you have, pay off your debt, and then start over. And eventually, completely empty year end, whatever you have, start over. He says, don't even hold money when you owe debt. So that should be a priority. And then he says, building on equity, which is sort of, again, he says equity is the ability to call on somebody to get your work done. Sweat equity. He says, focus on that, not on the money.
Right.
Passive income, he says, by doing this, you have a karmic bank filled with goodness. And when you call it, God drops everything and comes and pays your karmic bank. And so he says it in another way, but I got it. So what happened is in 2006, I had a vision. And I'm going to show you. And I always, my mom encourages me to write these in a journal. Okay. And I'm going to show you the date, right? 2006. See? Okay. 2006, 6/26. Okay. In this dream, I saw island, and it is going to make a difference in my life. Okay. And the way I describe that island is it almost looked like a turtle or a lizard was on top.
Right.
Okay. And here, Block Island, I went.
Oh my God, that's so funny. No way.
And after how many years?
Wow, that's like what?
17, 18, 19. 12 to 13 years, because last year was when I discovered Block Island.
That's true.
But I'm saying, when I saw this is what clairvoyance is, because what happens is you see it before you receive. Right. So when I come across it, I don't doubt, because I don't need validation. Yeah. So that's why when people say, how do you know it works? I don't need to know. Right. Because my soul knows. Right. So, but my husband, on the other hand, that's why, so I was telling him, I know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Right. He says, I'm going to teach you a lesson you'll never forget. So he called the police. I was homeless that night. He says, even though you think you know, he says you have to work for the world. So his lesson was for me not to get arrested and stuff. So he says, just because you're spiritual does not mean anything in this world. So he pulls me back. Sometimes I feel he makes me fall into the Grand Canyon, Because to reach his level again, it takes me 13 years. I feel I'm running to keep up in the same pace.
Right.
But he does it, whether it's with awareness or without awareness, doesn't know. But my teacher says time is immaterial when soul wants to learn. It has many lifetimes it can learn. He says, whether it is this life, next life, you're going to have the same lesson. He says, might as well do it properly this lifetime.
Right.
So you don't like, that's why I'm saying suicide, overdose, and other stuff. It doesn't matter, because in the long run, if you didn't learn it, you're going to do it again and again and again and again. Like how many relapses you're going to take, how many overdoses you're going to take. So that's the reason I'm telling you that whatever process you need to do it, give it 100%. Don't take it lightly. You know, whether it's your friend you're going to support, and do it. Okay. So it went through.
Okay. All right. Cool. Nice.
So I am so happy we connected.